What's up, guys, and welcome to a fairly subdued Benjamin here, because you may or may not be able to tell already, but I'm going through a bit of a cold, so I'm going to preserve my voice a little bit in this one. But here we are for the Japanese Grand Prix. I believe it's round number 17 of Season 2 of F1 2016 Career Mode, so only 4 races to go after this one. Very much looking forward to this one. We got a debut podium in Season 1 around this track, so I'm looking forward to some more success at this one here. As you can see, we've got a wet and rainy qualifying session, and that's going to progress, stay the same over the duration of the hour-long session. So over the 3 qualifying sessions, rather. Qualifying 1 got through fairly well there, inside the top 10 very easily. Heading off for qualifying 2 now, and it's just really more of the same. I opted to use a very old set of intermediate tyres. I had something like 20% worth of tyre wear, and I used that to get myself through both qualifying 1 and then qualifying 2 to get it through to qualifying 3, because you just never know. You don't get too many sets of intermediate tyres. You never know if you might need those for the race, or I just wanted to keep a fresh set of intermediate tyres for the end of qualifying 3, or for the qualifying 3 session rather. So at the end of qualifying 2 there, we end up in 3rd place, and I still could have gone a little bit faster. I feel very, very confident in these intermediate conditions, so we'll have to wait and see what we can do in qualifying 3 now, where we have a brand new set of intermediate tyres, and we're going to make full use of that on this very lap here. So I'm going to take you guys through a bit of a hot lap around the Japanese Grand Prix, the Suzuka circuit, in the intermediate conditions. This is all 4th gear through here, the first sector. It's just trying to really feather the throttle as early as you can without, bursting into oversteer or even wheel spin. And the car can sometimes, lose control. Even in 5th gear, like you saw there, it's just a case of just trying to be as delicate as you can with that rear end of the car. Lockups are very easy to encounter as well in these intermediate conditions, so you got to be just so delicate on both the throttle pedal and the brake pedal as well. So it's a real art to drive in wet weather conditions. You've really got to get as much practice as you can to be very quick. You just can't just jump straight into a wet session and expect to be bang on the pace. That's why a lot of the time you see so many great times set at the end of the session, because the drivers eventually get their eye in. But at the moment, it's been a fairly solid lap. No major mistakes. We've hit all the apexes, and for the most part, we've been able to keep the car on the track. And when you can do that, you're normally on target for a pretty decent time. Going through 130R, had to lift a little bit there. We were very grip limited. In previous sessions, you really had to lift off there, maybe even shift into 7th gear, out of the final chicane, and up to the line. Still not at full throttle until we get to 5th gear. That's how loose the rear end is, and we go to pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix. And I think that might be where we sit for this qualifying session. I decided at the very end of the session to go out again and try and better my time. As you can see, we're actually going purple to the first sector intermediate, and then we have a massive lockup at Degner too. So that was the end of that lap. We lost like a second there. And there we go. We're on pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix. I think that might be the 3rd pole position for this season. So they're all coming at a very, very good time, and puts us in the best seat in the house to possibly win tomorrow's race. We've got our championship rival Daniel Ricciardo starting right behind us in 2nd place, or beside us rather. Pascal Wehrlein there in P6, so a little bit disappointing from him, but the pace is there for this manor, and I can't wait for this race. Let's get into the Japanese Grand Prix.
And a very warm welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix, an event that has decided a Drivers' Championship 11 times over the years, and has hosted some very memorable races as well. Who can forget Kimi Raikkonen's win from 17th on the grid in 2005, or Kamui Kobayashi's incredible drive to a podium in 2012.
You've done well to put it on pole, but we've still got work to do. Trying to cover the inside line off the start.
Thank you for that very handy tip, engineer. Here we are on the grid of the Japanese Grand Prix. At the moment, we start from pole position. We lead the championship by 17 points over Daniel Ricciardo. At the moment, because we started on intermediate tyres, I was playing around with the strategy, seeing if I could possibly start on mediums, or maybe even just go to mediums for the majority of the race, but I decided to just leave the strategy how it was. We're going to go on to hard compound tyres for the second and third stint of this race and see how we go. So here we are, ready for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. 5 red lights, and we are underway for the Japanese Grand Prix. Looks like a fairly solid start there. Actually, we are starting on the medium tyres. So heading into turn 1, looks like we're pretty uncontested. Daniel Ricciardo follows us through in second place with his teammate Max Verstappen holding down third place. No, it's actually Kimi Räikkönen. My apologies. And as we come to the end of the first lap, you can see Kimi Räikkönen has actually got off to a really beastly start there. He's now in a second place, and that's exactly where I need him to be, because that's an extra 3 points I might potentially get over him in the Drivers' Championship. Heading into 130R for the second time of this race, and Kimi Räikkönen going side by side with Daniel Ricciardo there. You'll notice on Ricciardo's on board, he was actually right up against my rear diffuser there and pushing me. It was a really weird sensation there, something very unsettling that you're having, disrupting the rear downforce of the car when there's a car right up your butt there. But we managed to survive there. There was a bit of contact between Räikkönen and also Ricciardo there, which cost him a little bit of time. You can see there's that Sergio Perez out of the race. There is a safety car that has been deployed as well, and this is the incident that brought out the safety car. So that's Marcus Ericsson just following through there, and Perez there has lost his front right tyre. I realise I say the word there a lot, so I'm going to try and refrain from doing that if I can. Carrying on, this is the safety car just coming out of the pit lane there. We actually managed to beat it, so we had to carry on for another lap before we caught up to the safety car. And now I'm opting to switch up the strategy here. We're going to go on to a set of hard compound tyres, get a free pit stop essentially, and see how we go from there. Because we managed to overlap the safety car, it gave us actually more of a gap to the cars behind, because they slowed down quite a lot more than what I did trying to overtake the safety car. So there was a little bit of a strategy gain there from overtaking the safety car while it was still coming out of the pit lane. And this is my teammate Pascal Wehrlein, just missing out on the opportunity to rejoin in front of me there. So we're getting ready to rejoin in this race on the start of lap 5. Daniel Ricciardo still leads this race. He has not made a pit stop, and away we go for green flag running once again. We're going to be on the hard compound tyre, so it's going to be very difficult to chase down Daniel Ricciardo and overtake him for the lead of this race. But in saying that, he's on the soft compound tyres, and they're going to be pretty old at this point, so maybe we might be half a chance if we can maybe sneak it up the inside heading into the third sector. We're going to do that before 130R. Such is the power of this, Mercedes power unit we've got on board. The slipstream as well definitely helps as well. And Ricciardo actually pitted as soon as we got in front of him. So effectively, we now have a pit stops lead over Daniel Ricciardo, and we're just setting purple laps every single lap from the moment that we hit the lead. And I had to check the race director because something was up. Something was a little bit funny here, because I was completely uncontested for the rest of this stint. Now, I have a theory about this. I feel like I had some kind of superhuman grip, because I was setting purple laps every single time on the hard compound tyres, whereas other drivers in potentially quicker cars weren't getting anywhere near me in terms of lap times, and the gaps were just like fluctuating out so much to the point where the gap to Verstappen is now 40 seconds. Now, if that's not something funny, then I don't know what is. And I checked the difficulty, it's on ultimate. And one other thing as well is, when I was driving this car, it felt so nice. It was absolutely on rails, like it was a time trial, like I had super soft tyres on, but it was wearing out like a hard compound tyre. So, for whatever reason, I feel like I've been given superhuman grip on this set of hard compound tyres, and it allowed me to just absolutely romp away in this stint of the race. Now, I'll tell you a little bit later, when I went to do a mid-session save on the same set of tyres, as soon as I did that mid-session save, like, the grip completely went away and it felt like it was crap again. So I don't know what the deal is there. There was definitely some kind of glitch. As you can see from the onboard, you're going to see I'm going to set my fastest lap of the race. I've not been corner cutting. I've been in standard revs, and it's going to be like a 1 minute 32, which is like a qualifying time. So it just shows that there was something funny going on today, and it definitely impacted the race for us. And this is the moment where I did the mid-session save, and from this point onwards, everything was normal like it was again. I was lapping 2 to 3 seconds slower than what I was before, so definitely some kind of glitch, and hopefully Codemasters can have a look at that and maybe potentially patch that up for a future update or something like that. So we're going to carry on here. We're not going to restart. We're not going to flashback or anything like that. We're going to take the punches as they come, because there have been moments over the course of this season where we've been screwed over by glitches, and when we're going to be the beneficiary of a glitch, I'm definitely not going to say no, given what has happened earlier on in the season where I haven't used flashback. So here we go, up to the line. We are going to win the Japanese Grand Prix by an absolute mile. Puts us in a great position for the championship.
Great drive. We did it. Good job.
Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Well, this is it. This is where they all want to be. Here come the top three then, out onto the podium after a fascinating Grand Prix.
So there we go, guys. That is the end of a very odd Japanese Grand Prix. I've never been able to... I don't think I've ever had this happen where I've had superhuman grip on tyres that were just giving me 2 or 3 seconds a lap more pace than what I should have had. Very, very weird, but I will definitely take that. I feel like I would have won the race anyway because of the way that the AI worked their strategy. I mean, Daniel Ricciardo pitted 1 lap after the safety car went out, so I would have had a pit stops lead over him anyway, and it would have been a very commanding position for myself to hold on for the remaining 20 laps or whatever it was. So I'm definitely going to count that win. It's definitely going to help us in the championship, which I think will extend to 24 points. A 24-point lead in the championship with about 4 races to go. Things are definitely looking good at the moment. If you've had anything similar like this in the past, then let me know down in the comments if you've done like anything similar to what I have. If you've pitted on the safety car and then you've had this glitch where you can lap 2 or 3 seconds a lap faster. It was really weird, but it was really enjoyable to drive the car when it felt so good. I was not making any mistakes. I was using higher gears, and overall, the driving experience was just so satisfying when you have that extra grip. It was really quite interesting to compare what it felt like when I had the grip versus when it was back to normal. And because of that momentous win, we gained a lot of points in the rivalry, and we actually drew it there with Daniel Ricciardo. So that's been this video for today, guys. Unfortunately, we didn't get, massive battles with the AI today. We were simply just a little bit too quick to have any battles with anyone. But I've gone ahead, I've recorded the next race, and I can guarantee that there's going to be a lot more action. It's definitely going to be a really good episode. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one as well. The Japanese Grand Prix. A very solid win for us today. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2016 videos. And until my next one, guys, I'll see you next time.